All right, welcome back to My Mom's Basement. It is Robbie Fox, and I am here with Super American.
What up?
Album out now, Gangster of Love. Not out now as we're recording this, so it's interesting. I think you're going to get a great reception to this, but we don't know. It's up in the air.
I'm still hoping.
It's going to be great. I really like the album. I think it's awesome.
Thanks for listening.
Like top to bottom, really cool, kind of like genre bending stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. How long did it take for this album to come together from the inception of when you started the first song on it to when you finished it?
A few years.
Yeah.
It dates back, like one of the songs, the first single actually was a song we had demoed for our previous album, Sup. So that would be almost 4 years, really.
Yeah, almost 4 years-ish. Because when we started doing, when Sup came out, those songs were already so old, at least from our perspective, so that we were like almost immediately like, all right, let's get going. And then we thought it was going to expedite the process, and then here we are 5 years later.
So you say they were so old. I want to go back to like the origin of the band. For those that don't know it, your first album was like 2017, or would that be an EP?
I would say like an EP.
I was going to say Spotify calls it one thing and Wikipedia called it another.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure that
This
out.
time Wikipedia is correct.
Okay.
For once, yeah.
Yeah, EP. I would say an EP. And it was like a collection of songs that we were just been like working on loosely. So it wasn't even like a full-fledged, how would you say? Like,
Yeah, I don't even know if we like knew we were going to really be a band at the point. We were just like wanted to make some songs, like buddies trying it out type
Did
vibe.
you guys grow up together? Or did you meet each other like right before the band started? How do you guys meet?
We've known each other for a long time, but we didn't like work together until we were like in our early 20s. But we were both in like the music scene, kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum for a while. And then finally, it was just time. We had always kind of talked about it too, like joking when he would be in another band and I was in another band, like, oh, when are we going to start our band or whatever, that like was this mystical thing. And then we kind of just eventually did.
What is the scene like up in Buffalo? You're from, right?
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Right now, I think it's way better. Hardcore is really big in Buffalo right now.
Yeah, there's a really good hardcore scene going right now. Our
thriving.
friend
Hardcore's
Space.
blown up everywhere, it
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah, it's back.
I feel like
It's back.
Turnstile's success
Definitely.
like really put it on more of a mainstream path, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's still super DIY in Buffalo. Like it has the same like soul that it always had, which is sick. And yeah, I mean there's always like a bubbling little music scene there, but it's not like New York. Like last night we went to this insane show called the band was called Fuckers, and they were doing like 90s like house pop like dance music. It was like it was
Where
incredible.
was it?
That's not some shit you'd see in Buffalo. I'm
No,
just saying.
yeah.
Where was it? It was just like you found out that day. They just
random
told you.
venue.
And it was BYOB, and like,
Oh my God.
it was cool.
Basically the most New York
we get
thing
some
ever.
cool venues, cool like weird small venue things. I went and saw Motley Crue last week at the
jeez.
Bowery Ballroom, 500 cap.
Wow.
Which
Wow.
you don't expect that. Like that came out of nowhere. They announced a secret show under like a fake bad name. And I was like, I got to be there for that. New York
That's
affords you
sweet.
that opportunity.
Yeah, it really feels like anything can happen here.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a riot.
that we don't have at home, so we kind of have to like create it ourselves a little bit.
Speaking of shows, before we get into this album, which we're going to break down track by track, I want to know your best show and your worst show. We can start with your worst and we can turn it around and, turn things around by the end.
Worst?
What is the worst show you've ever played?
There's been a few.
I'm not even sure people would believe us.
Unfortunately, there was one show we played in DC.
Yeah, that's...
This is one of two of the worst, but yeah, we played in DC. It was like a DIY situation. I don't even know if it was. It definitely wasn't a venue.
It was a laundromat.
It was pretty much a laundromat. Yeah.
Get outta
And we
here.
played for only our buddy's band who booked the show, and I
Who
think
was also from Buffalo.
there was like a chaperone there almost. That was like, okay, I'm gonna open the doors and let you guys do whatever.
Make sure you
you're
don't
gonna do.
destroy the venue.
Yeah, and we
Your
were playing
venue.
as a three-piece. I was playing bass, he was playing guitar, and our buddy Greg was on drums. And like in at least two songs, like he like yanked his whole like rig, the power out of the wall. So it was like just bass and drums playing to my buddies, and that was it. It was dark.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst. And like we had not been playing shows a lot like together yet, and like I kind of knew going into it like, it was going to be a rough weekend.
Yeah.
I just like told Pat, I was like, yeah, no, it's gonna be good.
Did you know what the venue was going to be like or did you like show up and you were like, oh fuck, this is where we're playing?
Oh yeah, we had no clue.
No clue.
We had no clue. We were like, we really hadn't played any shows out of town. Like this is probably like 6 years ago or something.
Yeah, like we had rented a Chevy Tahoe.
Yeah,
like,
how far of a drive is that? Buffalo to DC?
7?
It's 7 or 8 hours.
7.5.
Oh, that's such a bummer to show up and see the venue.
We've played more of those shows than I'd like to admit.
Well, that's the grind, I guess. The grind set.
Yeah.
What about the best show you've ever played?
There have been a bunch of great ones. I don't know. It like we played this awesome show on the water in Buffalo, opening for Taking Back Sunday. Was that 2 summers ago?
Yeah, I think that was 2 summers ago.
And just in terms of like, it was like middle of the summer, perfect weather, a band I grew up listening to, thousands of people. That was awesome. But we've also played like a couple like really good headlining shows that are much smaller to like a couple hundred people where like everybody knows the words and that's kind of the vibe too. Like in Michigan at the Hot Mulligan holiday show.
That was a good one.
I love that one. There was just like a lot of people like traveled from out of town to be there, and it was just like
I know that's like a big thing every year for them, the holiday show.
Yeah, and it was just super fun. Like a small room, bunch of folks having a good time and singing the words to Hot Dog. So.
Yeah.
Do you prefer like one or the other in terms of like, you know, you've opened for these huge bands, having a crowd like that, like a Taking Back Sunday style thing, or a small room where they're there for you and everyone knows the words to all your songs?
I mean, I would say that's definitely the preference.
Yeah.
It's just like so fun to like, though, I mean, I got into it to try to like connect with people. That's just like, generally speaking. So when that is happening, that's the better feeling. But like, I wouldn't necessarily say there's a preference. Like I like playing the big gigs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the big ones I think are a little bit easier.
Oh, really?
Only because it's like, in situations when we play a bigger show, it's like, what do we possibly have to lose? You know, like
yeah.
Just go
If you're
for
the
it.
opener, I
Right.
guess.
And there's all these people there. Like, it's like, they're not there for us. It's like, we could win over half of them.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it
Huge
oddly feels
accomplishment.
like lower stakes
yeah,
in a
it's
weird
just like, what
way.
is there to do?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
My band, which is a fake band, we played a real festival, and seeing like a big crowd, immediately we all did like the Scooby-Doo gulp, like,
Oh, yeah.
But it went fine, and we do covers, so it's like, you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but that was not easier for us. We were immediately like, oh God, this is real.
Well, if you're not playing shows consistently, dude, like
Yeah, we don't.
I've done the Scooby-Doo. I probably did the Scooby-Doo gulp when I was playing in front of my buddies, honestly. So.
Yeah. It's tricky. It's every time is like are we going to be fine on stage this time, or are we going to be looking at each other like, I don't know.
That's the beauty in it.
Yeah, it's
That's
fun.
the beauty.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this album because it's awesome. Kicks off with Mama, I'm Gonna Be a Star. Nice way to like fade you into the album. I love the shout out to Prince in it as well. You guys Prince fans?
Big Prince fan. Yeah.
Yeah, like Prince.
I love that. And I always ask bands if the opening and sometimes closing songs were written to be just that. This sounds like a song written to be like the album opener. Was it that?
No, I think I believe Matt suggested it at a certain point. It was just kind of like the demo was just a voice memo that I had on my phone from like COVID times. Just would like randomly record shit at my apartment, just like with whatever words I had. And it was just sitting there. I don't even think we were really planning on putting it on the album. And at the last second, Matt suggested it. And then we realized it would be a great opener just because like you were saying, kind of like fades in almost.
I
Which is
think I like lost in the sauce. I think I was having like a couple campfire beers in the backyard, digging through like old ideas. And I saw this one and I was like, I had forgotten about it. And then I sent it over to him like, yeah, this should probably... It was like 3 other ones too that ended up making the album. We're like, they should probably go
Like
on
the
the
last
album.
minute slide
Yeah,
ons?
we had
Slytherin.
written one. We wrote one that we thought was going to be the opener, and we kind of like used this one instead, just because it felt a little bit more on the.
And is that one on the album, or is
It's
that
not,
one
no.
you tucked it
I-
away? All
I
right,
forgot
maybe it'll
about
be the
that one,
next
too.
opener.
Hopefully, yeah.
Manager Haircut. And this one's out now, so
Yeah.
people have heard this one.
Just came out yesterday. Yeah.
This one goes so hard. I love
Thank you.
the like genre bending stuff specifically in this song where you go back and forth with it. How does a song like this come together? Like, is your songwriting process similar throughout the catalog, or is it very different in terms of voice memos and writing differently, separate together?
It's actually pretty different. This one was, I just went over to his apartment on a Saturday, which we used to do a lot when he lived like around the block from me. And yeah, we would show up with nothing, and like if we kind of would just chill until like he had a riff or something, and then we would kind of just build it from there. So it was just like,
Yeah, that one was really easy.
yeah, at least the instrumental part of
Really?
it was done like really quick. Like we were probably just hanging out, having a coffee, and then probably a beer, and then it was
Probably another
6
beer.
p.m. and and it was done. Like that was really quick. And then I just like probably had the instrumental, and I like driving around in my car and like making up words. So like the words came after totally separately.
Yeah, it's cool how it feels like you're almost like rapping over a rock song, but it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
It
Thanks.
feels like a little ironic in a way, like in a almost intentional way.
Like the Robin Hood line and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
playing golf with an old guy.
Yeah, well, that's the fun thing about like when we were making music like all the time consistently. Like I would just run out of words, so like it has.
Was
to
this
just
like
kinda come
written
out
when like
on the
Robin Hood's
spot.
getting shut down because of AMC and shit?
No, it was prior actually.
Okay,
It
okay.
was like I worked a 9 to 5 for many years, pretty much like a sales account management job, and I was making like a lot of money, like for me at least at
Yeah.
the time before we were touring or anything, and so like I thought it would be like fun to just start like day trading and shit, and it did not go well. But
It's like saying like it's fun to like start gambling, kind of like day
yeah, like
trading.
I was
Smoking
putting
cigs.
money in like I put like $5,000 in like a Chinese electric car company and like lost like 80% of it. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's not great. We did like a day trading game when I was a freshman in high school. We had like a personal finance class, and I have an uncle who like is like a stock guy. Like he does this for a living. He has huge clients. So I just gave him my login, and like a week later, the teacher was like, "Can I talk to you?" And I was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "You just set the state record. What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh fuck!"
wow.
So that she knew something was up because he was investing in these real like specific companies that no high schooler would know about. But I put some into WWE, and I was like, "No, see, that's me."
Yeah, there you go. Smart,
Yeah.
smart.
And I love the guitar tone in this song, specifically like in the intro. Is there any like specific influence or inspiration behind that?
I guess I swallowed my pride. Probably like a little Limp Bizkit, to be honest.
Dude, I love Limp Bizkit.
I mean, I
That's
do
like
too,
Wes
but I
Borland,
can't
he's
say
a great
that,
guitarist.
I'm kind of like I'm not an OG, so I can't pretend like.
It's Limp Bizkit, but it's fully in standard tuning.
Yeah, it's like Limp Bizkit, but like major chords.
Not even
And, like not even drop D. It's like the Tom Petty.
Tom
Limp
Petty
Bizkit.
meets Limp Bizkit?
Yeah, like kind of like feel, but
That's never been said before. I love that.
yeah, I don't think it should be said again ever. I feel bad for both parties.
the chorus though. Like I'm trying to remember.
I remember
That
the chorus.
synth that I had was at your place, and it was like the only time we ever used it.
Yeah, I do
And
remember
neither of
that.
us can like really play keyboards, so we were like manually MIDI editing.
He does
it
the
in
left hand, I do the right hand.
I love that. I
Flip
love
it
the
on
Limp
edge.
Bizkit shout out. Wes Borland and John Otto, the drummer, both sick musicians. They don't
Oh,
get
yeah.
enough credit for that.
Definitely.
Mental Karate. I love all the random voices in this one, like almost like skit-ish.
Sure.
Do you just get your friends to do those? Are they you guys or?
We did this
That was
one.
us, yeah.
But I feel like like once a year we'll listen to Eminem, like depending at like if we're on tour.
Just you have once a year?
It's
Yeah.
Like, want to have an Eminem night?
Yeah, and like the skits on like Marshall Mathers LP are like
Yeah.
we weren't gonna go that
Dark?
far. Yeah, you know, like we we're gonna keep it.
But it is an ode to that.
Yeah,
like, it
just, like,
was
the funniness.
those albums were like so crazy to listen to as like an early teen.
Yeah.
I had actually had my grandmother buy me the Marshall Mathers LP when it came out when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. She bought it and My Name Is was on, and she's like this very sweet old Polish woman, first generation. She's just like, this is so nice. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you like it. Thanks.
My name is.
Like she had no clue, right over her head.
My mom absolutely refused to buy it for me. No chance. I got away with the edited version of Lil Bow Wow's first album.
Wow, I had Lil Bow
that was
Wow,
the
too.
only thing I could get.
That's funny. Mine that I wasn't allowed to listen to growing up was Slipknot. So my brother would burn me like decoy CDs where he would write a fake track list on it.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Wow, what a nice brother.
Yeah, he's the best. Also, a great bass tone on this one. I like when everything kind of drops out for the bridge and you just hear the bass.
Yeah.
As a singer who also plays bass, I'm a bass player myself. I cannot do two things at once. Was that hard for you to learn?
A little bit, but I had played like guitar and sung prior. But like, it's not much different than like playing acoustic guitar and writing a song and trying to sing, like at least for me. So not terribly hard. The first instrument I ever played was drums, and you kind of had to learn like limb independence.
Yeah,
so
true.
like, I feel like that kind of helped my brain be able to like.
Do you play drums on this?
No, hell no.
The drums on this album are great.
Hell
Who
no.
plays drums on this?
The drummer from Bearings,
Oh, shit,
Mike
cool.
McGregor, yeah.
Mike McCarricker.
Yeah.
He's super good.
We were very excited to hear that he was going to be playing on it. So
Yeah, he did.
we
such
actually
a
did the
good
drums
job.
last on this album, which is something we had never done.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was like,
Did you like play to like demo like machine drums?
We built like in just because we didn't want to like make too many decisions in advance, like the way we write songs, like up to the last minute, we might want to like shorten the verse or put
Yeah.
the bridge there or whatever. So like Sam Guaiana, who produced it, is really good at programming drums, and they sound like practically real. So like
Yeah.
we built drum tracks and tracked to that, and then he recorded a real drum performance on it after.
Did he produce the whole album?
Yeah.
Was it your first time working with him?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. It sounds really good and a lot of different style songs. So it's like very cool to see a producer be able to handle all that.
He was awesome. He just like, I don't want to take away from his musical like abilities, whatever, but he's just like more than anything, just like a really good guy. And
Yeah,
like,
you need that. You need a good vibe in the
Yeah.
studio, right?
He
For
really
a good
cares.
album to come out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Eat Me Alive. Flow in this song. Absolute flow. I like the vocal effects here too. Like the almost echoey sound in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to just like differentiate the parts because it's literally the same chord progression for 3.5 minutes. So like we had to use an effect here.
Oh, I
there.
couldn't tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's another demo that was sitting around for a long time. Probably
years.
probably like 2022. I had moved into my current apartment at the very beginning that I still live in with my girlfriend. I don't know. I'm really drawing a blank on that song right now.
It's got a great drum fill leading into the final chorus.
Yes. And that is it. Is there a full performance from Mike McCarricker on that song, or is it like programmed until
No, he plays.
the
I
end?
don't know if it's a full performance, but he's playing on it.
Okay. Yeah, it's just kind of like a chill little pop
Yeah.
hip hop song.
Do you guys like being called a pop punk band, or do you not like that? Because you kind of do go in different directions for sure.
I don't mind it, but it's definitely hard to put a finger on one thing that we do because
Yeah.
like it is so eclectic. Just like
Yeah, I don't know. I used to be a little mindful of it, but I just don't really care anymore. Like, when I think about it more, I guess it's like, when you think about pop punk, it sounds like two different things. But if I had to describe our music, I would probably say that we're punk and pop. So it's like,
Yeah.
I can't be
Flip it on its head
we're
a little
punk
bit.
pop, maybe.
Yeah,
pop
I like
punk.
that. It's like
but like
Crayola
the-
had yellow green, but they also had green yellow.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, it's, I don't know. It's tough. Like, I don't know. It's maybe just because I've gotten older and I've, like, listened to pop punk music my whole life that, like, I'm yearning for, like, some more established, like, title as an artist. But, like, I guess it's just what I do.
well, yeah, because I mean, it's not like we're like Newfound Glory where it's like a very consistent
Yes.
thing. You know what I mean? That's why I always weary of calling us a pop punk band because there's
Yeah.
songs like "Okay, Eat Me Alive" where it's like rap
Yep.
and
Or,
like,
like, Ultima
R&B and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. We just like too much.
I mean, the three in succession, Okay, Eat Me Alive, hopefully Pitchfork doesn't hear this, and then Drowning. Like three
Right,
very
yeah.
different songs in a row.
yeah, it's like oh god, I never realized how insane that is. Yeah, it's like a hip hop song and then an actual pop punk song.
Yep.
And then, like,
And-
like an R&B.
Then like a
Like you like
beautiful
walk
song.
down
Yeah.
the runway to it or something. Yeah.
Hopefully Pitchfork doesn't hear this. That was the first one you put out from this album, right? The first single.
That's the one.
Yeah, and it was the first one written for it. Yeah.
Also, you lived out many childhood dreams in the music video. You got slimed.
Yeah.
Everyone always wanted to get slimed growing up watching Nickelodeon. How'd you do that? Well, like, what did you use as slime? Do you buy slime?
It was terrible.
Did
It
you
was
make
so
slime?
bad.
You
so
got to
bad.
add water. So we were doing the video with Michael Herrick, and he had the crew like preparing the slime in the back kitchen of this roller rink, and you got to just mix this powder with a water. But this roller rink only had ice cold water. So when they dumped
freezing
this
cold
slime, it was
slime.
freezing cold, and they had no towels until they had to like run to the store. But we ended up
Yeah,
getting
they were gonna pour the stuff on us and then just leave us there cold turkey. I was like, like we could die.
It was
walking
very
out
cold.
of the roller rink with the slime on you. Yeah, that
Like
would be
5
weird.
hours from home, no extra clothes.
Yeah, so we did get towels eventually, but God.
Did you regret doing the slime? You sound like a people that regret doing the slime.
No, I mean obviously the video is great and
Yeah.
it was a super fun experience, but it was
cold, and I don't really like being cold.
we
That's
did
like-
do it in one take each.
Did you cheat? Like did you have your instruments on? No, right?
No.
No.
I always wonder about
Just
that
the
in videos
straps.
when people
Yeah,
do
it
stuff like
was
that,
cheating.
paint splatter stuff, and
Yeah, we just don't quite have the budget yet to like just throw away
Who
instruments.
does?
So
Yeah, right.
yeah. Unless you buy a like $100 used guitar for the video.
It's funny because
Yeah.
when we brought it up, I was like, "Oh, should we bring like, what should we do with our instruments?" And Michael was just like, "Oh, I guess I didn't think about that."
Yeah.
It's like, well,
These
we're
don't.
here.
We don't want these
well,
to
this
get
is all I
slimed.
got here.
Really cool. The like almost a call and response style chorus.
Yeah.
I dig that. Did you guys come up with that? Like you said, it was the first song written on the album.
Yeah, it was like that. Like even from the demo,
That's
we were
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded cool. It feels like a good like amalgamation of what we can do as a band. So I like that.
Yeah, I like that one.
And what is the super American philosophy when it comes to naming songs? Because I feel like the names of your songs are very pop punk.
Yeah, maybe that's more so the most pop punk quality.
Yeah, I don't know that there's one philosophy. I mean, a lot of times it's just taken from a lyric in the song, like which
Yeah.
is pretty boring. But
I'm trying to think.
Sometimes
like
it's a
any
good
other ones,
word.
Like, if there's something funny, or if it's like we accidentally do like a lot of food names throughout our discog.
yeah, he's the food. He's like
Like
a
it's
chef
never
with the-
intentional. It's like, oh my god, another one. Like I have like
We've got hot dog, coconut shrimp.
Oh yeah.
What else? There's at least 2 more that I'm not thinking of right now.
It would be sick to have a menu at one of your shows one day,
Yeah.
though. You do like a Hot Mulligan year-end type show, and that's what is on the menu. It's
that
all
might have
song
to
titles.
be. Yeah, I mean, or at least in forms of drinks,
Yeah.
hot dog, water, and vodka, and
Again,
no ice.
pulling from Limp Bizkit, hot
Yeah,
dog
yeah,
water.
there we go.
Drowning, beautiful guitar intro. Obviously more of like a poppy song production-wise. Who would you say? Because again, the 3 songs in succession are so all over the place. Who would you say your biggest influences are as a band?
I just think there are so many.
Yeah.
Like,
What about
I'm-
on this album then?
like vocally, I got really into like how Stephen Jenkins writes in Third Eye Blind, like especially Out of the Vein.
Yeah.
Just especially because he's more of like a rhythmic singer.
Yep.
I would say that's a big influence. But then it's almost like every song has a different influence. Like Blink is an influence in
Yeah,
terms of
it is.
songwriting and guitar playing.
It's embarrassing that we
For
both
sure.
should have
I
been
know
playing
we
shirts.
planned it. We planned it.
Don't notice.
I'm borrowing it from my buddy. So
Blink is always there, like maybe not from like a music standpoint, but like I definitely never have forgotten like how cool they were when I was a kid. Like what I would have done to be like that. And it's not that I want to be exactly like that, but just be as authentic as Blink.
Mhm.
Like that's definitely an aspect of Blink that I try and keep around. But like I'm trying to think like other music, like
I like listening to a lot of like singers like SZA and like Frank Ocean and stuff like that. That's probably where the like softer side
Yeah.
of things comes in. And then, but like rock wise, we listen to like all of our friends' bands, like Hot Mulligan and Mom Jeans, and like I feel like we listen to new music and
A
our
lot of
friends'
modern music, yeah.
Yeah.
for sure. In
like,
terms of
like
inspiration,
even going to the show last night, that would have been if we were doing that while we were writing, we would have like probably like got up today and we're like, oh, we should like maybe make like a house
Right,
song.
like a pop song?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like maybe we could try doing something like that. Like so, like circumstantially, we're always kind of like got our eyes peeled between the two of us.
yeah, and I feel like the influences like more so come from what we listened to when we were like much younger, like things that we aren't like we aren't actively making decisions like trying to like make a song like The Counting Crows or like
Yeah.
any of that. But like the music my dad would put on Saturday morning is like probably what I really harken back to.
That's cool.
Yeah, like 10,000 Maniacs and like Crowded House and like shit like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Limerance too. Is that how you say that word? Limerance?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I Googled it to be like, let me try to say that word right. And it
Is
was
it
just
I have
like,
no idea.
it was a bunch of YouTube videos with women being like, let me tell you what limerence is. And it was
yeah.
like 30-minute long video. I was like, all right, I don't have
It's
30
basically
minutes,
being down bad.
but all right.
Like in romantically. It's like actually, Aiden, can you look up the actual definition? Because it would.
I got a computer in front
I
of me.
can't do
I
it
could get it
justice.
quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. Limerence means having an intense longing for another person, even when they don't fully reciprocate.
Yeah.
Oof.
So unrequited love.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Which is like I feel like one of the more powerful human emotions. Like when you're
Definitely,
just
yeah.
totally overtaken with like a crush on somebody.
And you're
That's
like,
literally like,
he doesn't understand her like I do.
yeah,
That kind of
that
feeling.
type of shit. But
Yeah.
like, it's not real. I think that's the craziest part about limerence once I learned like what it meant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
it
little
just
bit of lust.
yeah, lust, longing, yearning, etc.
I like the nature sounds in this one too. I thought that was a nice touch. Makes
Those
the
are
song
real, too.
feel warm.
We recorded a
went
lot
out
of the
and recorded
acoustic
that?
guitars outside, actually.
That's awesome.
For the intro song and for Limerance, we put it outside. So, like, there's birds and bugs. I don't
Planes
know.
flying overhead.
Planes.
I'm a huge Oasis fan, and for
Same.
What's the Story, Morning Glory, they wanted to. Noel just got I think, a coked up idea to record Wonderwall on a wall. So they
Oh.
like set up a chair for him. They like drilled it into a wall, and he was like, "Let's record it outside. It'll be like vibey and stuff." And he said he got out there and immediately hated the way it sounded. He was like, "Let's go inside."
Yeah, sure.
But I think they use the intro, like the outside recording, as the intro to the album, and it's very low because they wanted everyone to crank up their
Yes,
volume. Be like,
I've done that, and then when the song kicks in, it's like
Exactly.
so loud.
you know, hits you like Marty McFly.
Morning Glory is one of the best albums of all time.
Definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, IDWLG. I don't want to let go.
Yeah.
Not, I don't want to live forever. That's another. I looked up the acronym before I listened to the song. I'll be honest, and I was like, no, I don't think that's it. And then obviously you listen to the song to hear it.
There isn't like that's a thing.
It is. It's a song by one of the One Direction guys,
Oh, really? I didn't know
I
that.
know
Zayn.
Yeah, I know Zayn.
Personally,
No.
no, me neither. Nice, like short one though that like brings the vibe, the upbeat vibe of the album back.
Yeah.
It feels almost like if I were to see you guys live, this would be like the song that you play right after you were to play a song like Limerance.
Yeah, I think it does serve that purpose, just kind of like getting you back out of that like sad, sappy little world.
Out of the
and, like,
limerence.
out of limerence, like snapping you out of it. Like,
Yeah.
bro, get a grip.
Yeah.
That one's a really old one, too. That one is.
It is old. It's just fun.
Another banger. Great on
Yeah.
drums. Great tone on the guitars and
We
bass.
had no plans of recording it either. Like, we just popped open a computer and it was just sitting there. We were like,
Yeah, that was literally
All
like
right.
decided when we'd already recorded like a handful of songs with Sam, and we were just like wanted something to kind of like wrap up the album. And that I don't know how that demo ended up playing off my computer, but
it was perfect.
we were like, oh, that sounds good. Let's just record it.
Toxic Bloodstream. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. This one sounds like it would go really, really hard live.
Hopefully.
Have you played it live yet or no?
No,
We
not
haven't-
yet.
People haven't heard this one yet.
No. That one was a grind in terms of making it. Not as much of a grind, but definitely a little more attention and detail on that one. It transformed in a few ways and then kind of came back to certain original things, but it's like,
We did a bunch of demos for it.
Yeah, a
Like
bunch
it
of
was an
demos.
idea that he had that we kind of just like kept trying to get it right.
Did it go in different
different
directions?
kind of
or-
styles and directions. Like it ended up having the synth and the like a lot of pad stuff in it in the final recording, whereas it was a little more straightforward in the beginning demos with just like kind of two guitars and maybe like an octave is doing the lead. But like kind of wanted to have the big parts and the verses be a little dynamic but not lose all the energy in a
Yeah.
song. and like like fully closing the hi-hat or whatever.
Yeah,
Just
we were
kinda-
doing like small verses and big choruses, whereas like the final recording is more of just like a linear.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a kind of wall of sound type of deal.
Also, speaking of live shows, I know we've talked about you've been on tour with bands like Neck Deep and Taking Back Sunday and Belmont, a bunch of great bands. Do you have any favorite stories from the road that you feel comfortable sharing on the podcast?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think of a good one. Just the Mom
silly.
Jeans tour in general was a real eye opener in terms of like on a humanitarian level. Like they were such nice people and like very talented artists doing it for the right reasons, and how infectious that really is when you're a small band like that, you don't know everyone on the tour and you're playing one of four. Like they were so nice to us and went above and beyond for us. So like that whole experience, I think definitely opened our eyes a little bit, that like, and like kind of had us set a goal. Like we want to be like a band like that can kind of create its own little world, and
Yeah.
you can have people come and go out of it. But like a specific story, I don't know if you have one. Like,
I was just thinking about the time our trailer was lodged into the pavement like a foot, like
it hopped off the hitch.
Oh, man.
So the
Yeah.
thing you would roll out,
And
but
it
down-
went down
and like it was so hot.
like Hulk smash.
It was
like-
so hot that the pavement like melted around it, and it like went in, and it was just stuck there. And
How do you get it out once it's...
we had to get like a tow truck there to like
Yeah.
yank it out, and then it was a whole disaster. We missed a show in St. Louis, I believe, that day, unfortunately. But yeah, as far as crazy tour stories, I would say they are mostly the trailer falling off of our hitch.
Yeah.
And like we're not really going out and partying after shows because like we're probably drinking at the show and then we're really tired
Yeah.
and going to bed after.
Yeah.
So like we
Relatable.
don't have any like rock star stories like that, I don't think. But if one comes to mind later in the pod.
Do you have a favorite city to play?
I really like Denver and Austin. I don't know about.
Yeah, Denver rocks, Austin rocks. I love coming to New York.
Yeah.
LA.
I just love New York. LA, the sun's always out. I would say those are, I mean, like playing pop punk music in like Ohio and shit also rocks.
Yeah.
Like Cleveland, Columbus, people
Yeah.
just, they love having a good time. And like those shows are always really fun.
Who's Gonna Get Me High? This one has like darker production, almost like industrial sounding drums. I thought that one was really cool. Did it have that feel from the beginning?
Yeah, a little bit. It always like had that really dark feel. And then like initially when we recorded it kind of like lost that. It like turned into like a piano ballad kind of feel.
Yeah.
And then at the last second we're like, no, we need to make this fucking dark.
It's another one where you're spitting too.
Because it's like, yeah. Well, that's why. Like, I can't be like rapping over like, I don't like a.
Major piano chords.
yeah.
Yeah. So like we just went back to that haunting feel. Like the lyrics are just like really weird and dark too. So like I just didn't want that to get lost. I wanted it to like fit in that world.
Yeah. And then Ugly Crying with My Dog. Some piano in this one too. Like, is that
Yeah.
a piano loop? Or is it like...
It's not a real piano.
Is
I'll
one
put
of
it
you
that
guys
way. It's not
playing it?
There's no guy
You
at a
said
grand
you
piano.
weren't good at keyboard. Is one of you playing that or no?
No, it's programmed.
Yeah,
It's
programmed.
a cool sound. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a early 2000s sound to me.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
Yeah, like I would say, like, yeah, I guess like Vanessa Carlton, like
Yeah.
or like White Houses. Like when I think of a piano with rock music, I always think of White Houses.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is piano in that one. And I think is
Except
that the
we're
only
just
one?
playing 3 chords.
Yeah, she's wheeling and dealing on that thing, but we're literally they just sustained chords, luckily. So it probably won't be in the live show, or maybe, who knows? But,
Yeah, I feel like we'll play it. I like that song a lot.
Yeah, I think
well,
it's
I
cool.
mean like the keys in general, unless like
Oh, you're
don't
gonna
know.
you're gonna
Get
have
some
to
backing
learn, get
tracks.
that.
I might have to learn or something. I don't know, or just I don't know.
Do you play piano?
No,
All right,
I wish.
well.
We have a bunch of pianos around the studio. We have a piano player in our band now. We
Oh,
added
that's
him to the
okay.
band. We didn't for a long time, and then someone around here, one of the producers at Barstool, was like, "Oh, I play piano and rhythm guitar, and I know how to play bass, and I know how to record." And we were like,
Come
"Welcome
on
to
in.
the band."
That's
I might
awesome.
need to steal them.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't. Admire, very cool song, and I want to use this song to admire some albums. So Letterboxd does your 4 favorite movies. I want to know your 4 favorite albums as a band. If you could, I know you probably have way more than that, but if you could put together 4 albums.
Well, recently, Commit This to Memory by Motion City Soundtrack. I'm loving. What do you got? We got to do a blank one.
No, I was gonna do maybe Boxcar.
Okay.
I like the
Oh,
Boxcar
nice.
album a lot. Just because it's against the grain. I really
love
like
that
it.
album, yeah. I love the song in the new album, the new Blink album.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
sounds
it's
like Boxcar.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
it's. I am you're gonna get me started here. I am a big advocate for that. The new Blink album is very good. But
Oh, I think it's great.
I've been getting
I
a lot
like
of
it
a lot of stuff back home.
It's Barstool. You could say shit.
Cool.
Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Dude,
shit.
yeah.
Fuck.
Say whatever you want.
I did get a lot of heat for it, like
Really?
amongst people back home and whatnot. And
I know some people are down on the production of it, and some people
It's
think the
like-
drums are too loud.
they're
Like
50 years old. Like it is so good for that age.
Yeah,
Like
I do agree.
18
I don't like the
tracks or
production, but-
something.
I'm sorry.
It's like 18 tracks too. Like the fact that they gave us that much.
Yeah, it's
Everyone
a
has
lot
to
of
have
work.
at least 3 or 4 that they like from it.
Yeah, I think it's really solid. But not to get off topic, sorry. I would go Boxcar, and then I'm probably like a.
I'll go Transatlanticism, Death Cab for Cutie. It's one of my favorite albums of all time.
And I'd probably maybe go Pet Sounds.
Oh, I love that.
Like
pick.
something
Yeah.
like that. Pet Sounds are like. Yeah, probably Pet Sounds. It's like the best emo album of all time. It's the first emo album.
I like that take.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone say that.
And it's I can't take credit for it, but it is allegedly the first actual emo album if you really look at the lyrics.
It's pretty emo, yeah. I like that.
My guy was horny.
And then Ultima song. Such a jazzy vibe on this song.
Yeah, that's probably the weirdest song we ever recorded.
It's the
had to
weirdest
beg
song
for
on
it
the
to be
album,
on.
but I think like the perfect like outro. Like it feels like, I don't know.
It just felt like so weird that we like had to put it on there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just like unlike anything.
It's like the Wizard of Oz or something. Like at the end, it's like what just happened.
It's
Yeah.
like the credits music to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
album. Almost.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to feel like we extended the outro once we decided it was going to be the last song, just to kind of like let it ride.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. Those are like the only like jazz chords I know on guitar, so I just like, fuck it.
That was perfect.
AC.
You nail the vibe with like the first chord you play. It's like jazz.
Yeah, it's got a little feel to it. I like it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the album.
That's the album.
It's a great album. Before I get you out of here, I ask this question to all of the artists and bands that I interview. Again, I'm a big Oasis fan. So Noel Gallagher once said he summed up everything he ever wanted to say with Live Forever, Cigarettes and Alcohol, and Rock and Roll Star. He says after that, he's just like repeating himself in different words. If you had to pick 3 of your own songs that sum up everything you've ever wanted to say,
Oh, that's a good.
which 3 would you pick?
For me, it would be for our own songs.
Yep.
For me, it would probably be How Big Is Your Brain?
Banger.
Man, this is tough. I'm
I think
really
Admire
talking
is
about
one for
the.
you.
Yeah, I probably Admire. How Big Is Your Brain? Admire. And
it.
yeah, maybe Fuck It. I'll just do another new one though. Like, honestly, Limerance
Yeah.
on the new one. Yeah, just like.
Are one of those your favorite on this album? Like, do you have a favorite? Is that like picking between your kids?
It used to be, but now I kind of like don't feel as bad. I don't want to let go only because it's just like it shouldn't have like was never gonna be there, and like in my mind of like imagining the album in the future, like we had our songs and like the fact that in its final product that one just is in there is all right. I'll take it. Like
Yeah.
it's like the dad who doesn't want the dog, but like then takes
And
care
falls
of it.
in love with it.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I agree with that.
I like that. All right. The album is out now. Go check it out. Spotify, Apple Music, all of that. Do you have any shows you want to plug? That'll be post May 31st.
Yeah, come to the Gangster of Love tour
Presented by Emo Night Brooklyn. Yeah.
with People Are Ugly, Sydney Sprague, and Summer Brews.
Yeah, and we're playing like places we've never played before. We're like coming back to North Carolina. We haven't been.
South Carolina,
South
Idaho.
Carolina, Florida. We're going to fucking
You
Idaho.
coming to Jersey or New York?
Virginia. Hell
New York
yeah.
Knitting Factory.
Knitting Factory.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll
Yeah.
go. I'll
Yeah,
be
it'll be
there.
fun.
Dude,
It'll be a lot of
Absolutely,
fun.
yeah.
Three
You'll
on
be
the
on the
list.
guest list for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're playing the whole U.S. and Toronto, so it'll be fun.
There you go. Stream the album. Go see him on tour.
Gangster of Love.